Right, Cricbuzz chatter on an eventful day. It was day 4 of this test match. Few interesting things just to put in perspective. Only 22 wickets have fallen in 4 days. Normally, fourth evening of a test match in India, the ball is hitting the deck and there's cobras and vipers spitting back at you. Bit of the pitch going off. That hasn't yet happened, but it's pretty well set up. Let's Shaun Pollock with me. Let's talk through that through the day's play today. 323 runs. Did South Africa just sort of lose it towards the end in that session?
I think they would have wanted it to go a lot slower than it did, but I think the batsman, I mean, every time Rohit's at the crease for a long period of time, he's going to score at a rapid rate. Pujara was slow to get going initially, but once he got his feathers ruffled, if we want to put it that way, he started to perform pretty well at a rapid rate. So it was really good batting. The South Africans didn't really have too many answers. I do feel the surface is starting to misbehave a little bit more. We've seen a lot more balls stay low from the seamers, and it is starting to bite a little bit for the spinners every once in a while. Even the Maharaj wicket was one that took off and took the shoulder of the bat. So I think there's more than enough for them to work with there tomorrow.
Now you talked about the Pujara episode. That's obviously, it's gone all over. Now that can happen sometimes. I mean, people say things to each other, but the interesting thing is, Pujara is 8 not out of 61 balls. At 8, he gets a slice of luck, and then Rohit, in frustration, says something. I think he almost scores a runner ball after that.
Yeah, he cut loose, and that happens in teams. You know, you can't get away from it. You're individuals. You're trying your best. You do get frustrated. You get upset with someone in the team and the way they're going about their business. And that's what we presumably heard over the stump mark. But it brought the best out of Pujara, so it was probably a good thing for the Indian team in the end.
Yeah, but I must admit though, you know, there's ways and ways of saying things. I don't think he was saying. He was just that kind. You get the difference about it? I think it was more the latter than the first. But Pujara played well. What about Rohit Sharma? He took on the spinners. Is that a concern for South Africa? The spinners are going at 5.5, 6 and over?
Well, it would be a bit of a concern because you'd want them to play a massive part. You want them to create a bit of pressure. You want to have them have a bit of an aura around them about what they're trying to achieve and the challenge that the batsmen have to take. I mean, it's the most sixes ever by anyone in a test match. You know, every time he went for things, he pulled it off. He had one little reprieve where Mutasami caught him and he was brought back when he was on 50. But yeah, there weren't there were very few things that he did wrong throughout that innings, and he's really stamped his mark on the opening spot, particularly on these Indian surfaces.
Are you a big one for playing the kind of bowlers that you believe the conditions would demand? Or are you the kind who says, no, but that's I'll just pick my best bowlers?
Well, I think you've got to pick your best bowlers, but the best bowlers for the conditions. There's often bowlers, for example, like a person like a Steyn, doesn't matter where you play, he's going to be one of your best bowlers. But there's other guys who in South Africa might be a bit fringy, so if you go away then you might go for the extra spin option. But South Africa to pick 3, I don't think 3 have really played as big a part, and maybe for the next test match they'll be looking for an extra seamer.
Once again Jadeja came up. It was Kohli and Rahane who actually scored quicker. What do you make of the reverse sweep? Normally when they want to do a reverse sweep, they sort of turn their hands and do that. He didn't bother, he just hit with the back of the bat.
Yeah.
It was just like he was flapping a fly there, boom.
I actually saw Andrew Hudson do it once when he came home from a tour of India. He didn't quite get the coordination right with that. He said, I'll just flick it like that. So it's been done before, but he was very clever. Rahane's little cameo there of 27 or whatever it was of in no time. I think Jadeja might think he's moving up the order.
I know, he's done it twice
2
now.
innings in a row.
There you go.
Maybe it's a trend.
I feared for a minute that South Africa would send out a night watchman, because Mohandas Menon told us that Pedro Collins holds the record for bagging a pair and being out of the night watchman each time. You didn't want poor Dane Peat. How unfortunate was Dane Peat? I mean, you look at this number, then you say he's bowled. Second innings he bowled all right.
Yeah, I thought he was good. I thought he had a bit more to work with outside the off stump, and off spinner needs a little bit of that. Particularly turned into a lot of the right-handers. And I think it was like, I think we had 5 or 6 instances where he could have picked up a wicket. And you do feel for a guy who's trying to make his way. So, yeah, if I see him in the morning, I'll maybe give him a pat on the back and say, don't be too hard on yourself.
Quinton de Kock looked a bit tired as well. Last thing he wouldn't have wanted to come out to bat. Thankfully, he's batting down the order. That wicket of Dean Elgar. I think South Africa, the two openers are going out. They're saying the last thing we want is for us to lose a wicket today. And they might have lost two actually. One of the balls just grazed the stumps.
Yeah.
That didn't rise. It had love affair with the ground. It just kept going.
But it was Dean as well.
Yeah,
Both times, yeah.
There you go.
So South Africa with their work cut out tomorrow, of that there's no doubt. It's interesting to see. We've had a lot of weather forecasts in this game about it is going to rain, it's not going to rain. When it's not going to rain, it has come and rained. So they're predicting some rain tomorrow at 11:30 for a period of time. Will that play a part? South Africans will be hoping. I don't see any way of us knocking off that score. I mean, it would be a remarkable effort in 98 overs to get 380 in order to win. So it'll be trying to survive, trying to do what they did in Delhi, bat for that long period of time on a surface that will offer some assistance. All to do. They could use the help of the weather. It will make life a lot easier for them, but it's still going to require a lot of good defensive batting.
And there's two ways of looking at it, isn't it? One is to say, oops, a couple have scooted, one has jumped. So how do we play on this? The other is to say, in spite of all that, we only lost 22 wickets over 4 days, so it's battable, as Elgar showed in the first inning. I thought even in their own way, Muthusamy and Maharaj showed that you could bat on it.
Yeah, I think the case in point is, as often is the case when you come, especially a touring team, to India, if you can just get in, and when I say in, if you can survive for 30, 40 balls, you work out a game plan, and then if you get one that misbehaves, there's nothing you can do. But invariably you can ride those mishaps, the ones that misbehave, if you get yourself in. And that's what we've seen. Even Muthusamy, as you mentioned, initially he looked a little bit uncomfortable, but by the end he looked like quite an accomplished player. So that's what they'll be taking heart of, and it would be a good result, you know, for South Africa after they won 200 without picking up a wicket. If they can manage to squeak through, whether it be through good batting, through the assistance of rain, whatever it may be, if they can get through with a draw, they'll be really chuffed with that.
Okay, wait and see. It's going to be a long spinner's day, but if it goes a little up and down, don't be surprised if Ishant Sharma comes in and bowls a quick spell. But at the moment, 384 to get, 98 overs, 9 wickets. Those are the numbers to play with. It's looking like India ahead, but we've got a good last day, so something to look forward to.